Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The wait is nearly over. Just a day and a handful of hours remain before one of the most highly anticipated sporting events in downtown Detroit history.
Yeah, the Lions are getting in their final workouts today, and fans are saying, let's do this already. Bring on the Buccaneers. All right, we are all in on the Lions' march through the NFL playoffs, and not even a week of harsh winter weather can dampen all this enthusiasm.
Has there been weather this week?
Ignoring it.
We haven't noticed. Ford Field will be rocking for the second straight Sunday. Start things off here at 5 with Bernie. There was one practice to get through today.
And that's it. Yeah, that'll be it for the week right now. And as you said, less than 2 days away from finding out which team advances to the NFC title game next week. But first, it's this Sunday, 3 o'clock at Ford Field. Lions still favored by 6.5. We've got highlights. Lions worked out today. Final preps underway. The heavy work is done for this week, and tomorrow will be rest, maybe a walkthrough, but that's it. Dan Campbell doesn't shy away or feel it's bad luck to say the Lions have 3 games left.
There's only 3 left here, but it all starts with 1. And that's really the process all year, no matter where you're at. If you lost 1, you won 5 in a row, now you're in the playoffs. Man, it's all about the one in front of you. You have to stay focused on that. So everything we've got, full focus on this game. Do your job one more time.
One more time. So the one more time would lead you to the game 2, which would be the NFC title game, and then game 3, which would be the in Las Vegas. I'm sorry, I couldn't even say it.
A few weeks hence.
That's
yes.
all right.
Wow.
We'll take that Dan Campbell energy. I feel like everyone's walking around with a little Dan Campbell energy, right?
And I think it translates to the crowd. I think that's why the crowd is so in love with him and the way he is, because he's a macho man, and then he has that soft part of him also that everybody just kind of loves. So it's really great combination.
The genuine article.
All right, let's get it done. When we've got you covered Sunday leading up to the big game here on Local 4, be sure to catch our All-In Playoffs Edition special live from Ford Field starting at noon. Of course, Bernie's going to be with us along with Hobie and Nick. That is Sunday at noon on Local 4. We're also going to be streaming it live on Local 4 Plus.
Now, Detroit police tell us the NFL is giving our city high marks for a stellar playoff game experience last week. So here we go again.
Yeah, thousands of excited Lions fans will pack downtown. So will Detroit police officers. And then later, a wave of Red Wings fans as they play at the LCA after the Lions game. Sean Lay is live at Ground Zero for where all those crowds are going to be. Hi, Sean.
Hey, guys, look, the heaters coming in. That's good because you're going to be standing here in a security line to get in to see these guys right here. Wish I had some tickets, but don't. 65,000 or more here in Ford Field, but so many thousands of more partying. Detroit party downtown. Police say they need a game plan. They had one last weekend. They have one for this weekend. You know the saying, ain't no party like a Detroit party. Everyone hoping this one doesn't stop.
Falls on our shoulders to make sure that those that come down here to support the Lions, that they have a safe and pleasurable experience.
Detroit police with the same game plan that worked for last week's historic, incredible playoff experience. I asked Detroit Police Deputy Chief Franklin Hayes to put a grade on last week. Fights, arrests, actually, no.
Everyone here had a great time as we worked with our partners here at the Lions to look at some of the NFL feedback as it relates to the fan experience, and it was very complimentary. So with the plan that we had in place, we look to build upon that.
There will be Detroit police, lots of visible police to help with crowd control. Top of the list continues to be parking, legal parking. Take note.
In the city of Detroit, you will never be charged cash to park on a public street. So that is the first thing. So we have a detail to address that, and you can't create your own parking. Whether it's unactivated land that you may see, you can't just pull in the field and park there. You can't just park in someone's driveway. You can't block someone's driveway. We've got some of the best fans here in America, as far as I'm concerned. You know, we're passionate, but we're also incredibly respectful.
Back here live outside Ford Field. Can't wait for this game. Nobody can, but look, parking, guys, has been a big issue last week and this week. So at noon today, I told Jason and Rhonda that I got an email about $5 parking. It's from Andiamo Rensen. If you make reservations to come eat before the game, you can park there. $5. You can see it from here. Walk right to the game. Back to you guys.
There's a tip. Good deal.
Bad, yeah.
All right, Sean. Our all-in Lions playoff coverage soundtrack, Christy, continues through this hour and into the next. There you go. Ahead at 5:30, we're going to show you how the Lions are getting international support.
All right, plus receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown plays with a chip on his shoulder, but Kimberly Gill speaks with his mom and dad about where he gets that edge. And then at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from the proud parents of Aiden Hutchinson, who followed in his father's footsteps by playing at Michigan, but is now carving out his own legacy with the Lions.
All right, another chilly day in the city, and it turned out that Friday morning looked a lot like Thursday morning.
Yeah, there we go on repeat. A little bit of a tough commute. Let's check in now with Kim for let's look at the forecast. Hi, Kim.
Well, we do have some very cold weather ahead this weekend, but it's almost like we've been in training ourselves because we had 40-degree weather through most of December. That's where we averaged out. And now it's been very, very cold. So as we head into tailgating, we're ready for it. We're no longer soft. We're tough. So 22 degrees, that's going to feel balmy to us after where we've been. 17 by 7 o'clock with single-digit wind chills. Piece of cake. We've got a few flurries out there right now. There's still some slippery spots on the roadways tonight, even though there's no snow. Those temperatures are well below freezing and at a point where salt is really not all that effective. Temperatures warm to 40 for next week. Snow and rain chances return next week as well, but we need to talk about those morning wind chills tomorrow morning. Right now we have temperatures that go anywhere from 14 in Pontiac, Lapeer, and Sandusky to 22 in downtown Detroit, 21 at City Airport. Wind chills are above zero, but still in the single digits. Now, when you wake up tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., 18 below is what it will feel like in Pontiac and in Ann Arbor. Very close to advisory level. At this point, we're not under a wind chill advisory, but regardless, these are dangerous wind chills. But we're going to talk more about that warm up coming up.
All right, some breaking news now involving Alec Baldwin. The actor is headed to trial over the 2021 fatal shooting on the set of his film Rust. A grand jury indicted Baldwin today over the death of Helena Hutchins, who died when Baldwin's prop gun fired a live round during rehearsal. Baldwin could face up to 18 months in prison. Date for the trial has not been set.
Ford Motor Company is moving some of its local workforce around in the immediate future, along with cutting its F-150 Lightning production. For what's going on here, let's bring in our business editor, Rod Maloney, who is live in the newsroom. Rod, it's a lot of people we're talking about here.
Yeah, indeed, Devin. Now, we first reported the F-150 Lightning production cuts back in December, you may recall. Ford now confirming it's eliminating the second shift at the electric truck plant in Dearborn. That'll send about 1,400 union line workers to new assignments in other plants. But there is good news because essentially we're going to see a net increase in union jobs here.
North American EV sales went over 1 million last year and are expected to increase slightly this year. But sales aren't taking hold the way the White House and the car makers had hoped. Ford CEO Jim Farley saying in a statement today, quote, "We're taking advantage of our manufacturing flexibility to offer customers choices while balancing our growth and profitability. We see a bright future for electric vehicles for specific consumers, especially with our upcoming digitally advanced EVs and access to Tesla's charging network beginning this quarter." So what's going on here? Well, Guidehouse Insights analyst Sam Abel-Sami tells Local 4 the F-150 Lightning does have some issues.
If you're towing a large heavy trailer or a camper, anywhere from 100 to 150 miles of range, which is problematic. And with the charging issues that we've had, particularly with CCS chargers, that makes it difficult to use that type of vehicle for those use cases.
High vehicle prices and interest rates aren't helping either. Still, America certainly loves its internal combustion engine Broncos to the point where Ford's going to add a third shift and 900 new jobs at the Wayne assembly plant to handle that production. So Ford is shuffling its Dearborn area workforce.
And about half of those people are heading over to the Michigan assembly plant in Wayne to build more Rangers and Broncos. Most of the rest will be dispersed among the rest of the Rouge assembly plant where they build gas and hybrid F-150s.
So let's remember the UAW and Ford have a new national contract in place. Part of that contract allows for incentivized retirement packages, something Ford's going to be offering those with long service in these plants. And then after that, we'll see who gets shuffled around. Back to you.
Rob, we've been talking a lot about charging issues in colder weather. What are dealers telling you about enthusiasm levels for electric vehicles right now?
Well, that is waning, but what we're seeing is the hybrids are now getting a lot of attention. There's an F-150 hybrid you can get. yet, and they're picking those up pretty much all across the board because it's that transitional step in between the ICE and the EV.
Makes sense. All right, Rod.
Checking in now with Decision 2024. With just days to go before the New Hampshire primary, the candidates are blitzing the Granite State. And the stakes couldn't be higher for former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Good evening. Nikki Haley has been making the case that she has made this a two-person race between herself and Donald Trump, and New Hampshire will be critical in proving she has a path forward. A frozen finish in New Hampshire as Republican presidential candidates trudge through snow and ice to reach undecided voters in the nation's first primary. Former President Trump leading in the polls, but former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley argues she's within striking distance, banking on support from the state's many independents.
What you've seen us do is try and talk with regular Granite Staters. The goal is, what do they care about?
The former president hitting Haley hard, questioning her conservative credentials.
A vote for Nikki Haley this Tuesday is a vote for Joe Biden and a Democrat Congress this November.
How am I not conservative? I was a Tea Party governor. I passed voter ID. I passed the toughest illegal immigration law in the country.
Haley needs a very strong finish in New Hampshire to power her campaign forward.
Campaigns depend on momentum. People who fund campaigns want to see their candidates succeeding.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is in New Hampshire today.
He's done a lot in Florida, and I think he'll get it done for America.
But he's polling a distant third there and setting his sights on a better finish in South Carolina. That's Nikki Haley's home state, but in a sign of her uphill climb there, fellow South Carolinian Senator Tim Scott set to endorse Donald Trump today. The frontrunner split between the campaign trail and courtroom. Just today, video released of Mr. Trump's 2023 deposition in the New York Attorney General's civil fraud case against him. His legal troubles not deterring loyal voters.
I haven't considered anyone until Donald Trump walked down that elevator in 2015.
As candidates close in on the first presidential primary of 2024. President Biden is not campaigning in New Hampshire and is not on the ballot there after Democrats chose to push their first nominating contest to South Carolina. There is, though, a grassroots campaign among New Hampshire Democrats to write in President Biden. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.